From the center of the galaxy, this is ForceCenter show about Star Wars, pop culture, and the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Ken Napzok, and Ken Napzok alone for right now. Joseph Scripshaw, of course, is on an actual vacation. Taking a little vacation from touring Dead Media around on the Bonus Features tour. Hope you all had a chance to see it if it can be your town, and if not, there'll be a second leg on the way soon. So Joseph's out in the world, out in the galaxy, and Jennifer Landa is trying to get here. Last second schedule switch, is reason for starting the show a little delayed live here today, and I'm waiting to hear word on whether Jen can be here today. So if not, I apologize. That was the plan, but sometimes life has other ideas, but she is trying to get in here. So I apologize that you're stuck with me for one more show. So this is normally our Star Wars news show. We're going to get a chance to catch up on Star Wars news with Jen, who hasn't been here in a bit. Talk a little bit about that D23 stuff with Ryan Gosling. Talk about the Ahsoka trailer with her as well. Maybe even a little Mandalorian and Grogu. So if she gets here, we'll do that. If not, since I've already talked about it a lot, I don't need to sit there and talk about that with you all. But if you have any questions, now would be the time. I'm not taking calls today, but hey, I wouldn't mind some questions here in chat, super chats or not. Go ahead and ask them. In fact, today, in the time that I'm here, I was playing with I don't want to say a format, I don't want to say a show idea, but maybe ForceCenter, the tough questions. Do you have some tough questions for me that maybe over the years, like, hey, Ken, you don't like this thing, why? Or you struggle with this, or why do you not like this thing? Or just, anything in that regard. I don't know. Let's play it. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. We're live on the air today. If you're listening later or watching later, thank you, number one. Let us know that you're part of the Watch Later crew. And two, let's see how this goes. I do want to talk a little bit about some Star Wars news that I was checking on this morning over to the fine folks at StarWarsNewsNet.com. They ran a story of I think Grant Davis ran the story of the numbers coming back from Illuminate Data, which is one of those places that's not like official. It's just one of those kind of like locations that tracks some of the numbers for streaming. And we've talked about those numbers before. It's not a take with a grain of salt thing. It's real numbers, but it's less official in the old days. But that's only because, in the old days, your family got chosen for Nielsen ratings, and you got the Nielsen box, and you reported on that. And that does happen. I have a good authority that Nielsen still does reach out to people. And but back in the day, those were more golden, even though those might be a little bit of a sample size. As with any kind of poll, it's a smaller sample size, and then we extrapolate those numbers into something bigger. But back in the day, they became gold. I don't think the numbers are as gold here, but also I think it's important because we never quite know the numbers for streamers, and that is also one of the big reasons behind the 2023 Writers Guild strike was, hey, you're not telling us what we're actually doing, good or bad, but you always seem to be paying us on the bad side of things. Also, some truth to the reporting of, you'd be surprised at how little some of the shows that are highly respected, big award winners, are actually being watched. Not just in Star Wars, just across the board. So anyways, that's why I'm a little bit fascinated by these stories about numbers. Again, thanks to the fine folks at StarWarsNewsNet.com for putting it all here in one spot for me to kind of quickly go through live here on this show. Illuminate Data, which measured Star Wars had 5 of the top 10 most watched originals. This is on Disney Plus. This includes all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian in third place with 2.4 billion minutes viewed. I wonder what that ad rate would be on YouTube. Maul Shadow Lord then follows that with 1.1 billion. 2 seasons of Andor in 6th place with 918.1 million minutes. All 3 seasons of Bad Batch in 8th place in the top 10, 368.1 minutes. And The Book of Boba Fett, the miniseries, in 9th place, 357.9 million minutes watched. Grant does point out that Lucasfilm felt very, very good about the numbers and were somewhat public with them after the premiere viewership way back in April when the show launched. I think it's fascinating. Rounding out the top 10 here, if I can get to that list here. Here it is. So U.S. most streamed Disney Plus original TV seasons here. Top 10, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Wonder Man, canceled show there, 1.9 billion. Percy Jackson, The Olympians, Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Then you go down to what is this? This is Then Maul Shadow Lord at the 1.1 billion. You add up all the Mandalorians there. The season 1 is first at 187.9 million minutes. Percy Jackson season, Olympian season 1, Mandalorian season 3, Phineas and Ferb up there. We got to recognize that. Mandalorian season 2. This doesn't mean much, but it helps me win some bar debates. Mandalorian season 3, 790.2 million minutes. Mandalorian season 2, lower, 728 million minutes. I love both seasons, but I love season 3. So there you go. So the grand totals is Punisher, 12.2 million. Gosh, there's a lot here. This is the season views. Maul Shadow Lord, 4.3 just on season views alone. Anyways, now I'm just getting lost in the numbers. I apologize for that, as I'm fascinated with that. Anyways, David in live chat, wonder how much of Book of Boba Fett was just Ken. Not enough. I got to contribute more. Brady says he contributed to some of those Phineas and for minutes. Love that. Anyways, I think it's fascinating. Again, the numbers are the numbers. Some of them not surprising there. The Book of Boba Fett thing is surprising. Years later, that show would outpace the viewing of a Kenobi or an Acolyte or something like that is pleasantly surprising to someone like me who is a fan of the Book of Boba Fett. It is not surprising that Andor is high on the list. A little surprising that it's a little lower, but that Andor is one of those shows. And this is not to start any kind of debate or any kind of rock slinging. It is one of those prestige shows that is absolutely loved, I think, by everyone that loves it. It is not as easy for other people to digest. It is not as Star Wars-y as other people might want. And it's not as watched as most of the other shows. Now, the show's been out for a couple years. I'm sure if you go back to the actual show being out in its prime, and I'm sure the numbers are higher. But also, those are great numbers, too. And I want more prestige Star Wars programming like Andor, and I absolutely love the show Andor. So those numbers are not surprising. I'm very happy with these numbers of Maul Shadow Lord. We talked last week, or we've talked previously here with Star Wars live-action TV maybe being on the downswing, Marvel live-action TV being on the downswing, controversial cancellations of shows. You have a lot of the big questions around the industry, and Star Wars animation is going to be in the spotlight. We do have confirmation now, I believe, from Matt Miknovitz that Maul Shadow Lord Season 2 will be in 2027, probably later in the year, third or fourth quarter. That's huge. That means we got a big Star Wars year coming here. But it just gives me a lot of hope that Maul Shadow Lord, something like that. We love Bad Batch here. It's one of my favorite shows. But it gives me hope that if you're going to do kind of what Maul Shadow Lord set out to do, which is animation. Animation is never just for kids. Looking at you, Akira fans. It's never just for kids. But to do something that has a little more darker tone, big themes, big traditional Star Wars themes, but maybe drilling down a little bit more on the trauma. I think Maul Shadow Lord did a lot of things, and I'm excited for those numbers carried into season 2, and excited for those numbers with Star Wars animation overall there. So there you go. That's kind of the big story of the week. Any thoughts of that? Come on in. Ask some questions. I'm waiting to get my update here. For those just tuning in, I know you're tuning in for Jen. Jen was going to be back on the show today. It's not looking like it's going to happen, but we'll see here. A few more minutes. So I'm just vamping. Sam's here, says I've been listening to ForceCenter more than watching lately, so I heard all this time. But this is my first time seeing glasses again. Looking sharp. Thank you. These aren't my actual glasses. My actual glasses, I've had contacts since the 10th grade. So I'm not like new to glasses, but I'm new to readers. These are readers because I'm truly an old man. So my contacts are in, but I can't see the screen right now. I can see 1 foot beyond it. I can see crystal clear. You know what I can see? I can see the shelf I need to clean up with my Leia speeder bike Funko Pop, my Vader Funko Pop, my 3PO and R2 snow globe, and my Chewie Funko Pop, my Kira Funko Pop. They all need to be cleaned because a can of Simpsons Flaming Moe's energy drink that I got about 15 years ago and forgot was on the shelf did what the Star Wars Pepsi cans did on my shelf back in 2000. They slowly leaked. I know you're supposed to do the pinprick in the bottom and drain it and then keep the can on the shelf. I didn't do that. I forgot. And so yesterday I went to move something and was shocked to find nothing but sticky Flaming Moe's energy drink all over my Star Wars Funko Pop. So I'll have to clear it. But anyways, thank you for the kind words on the glasses. I feel I look 10% smarter, even though I'm 50% dumber than all of you. Igor the Man says Ahsoka in 1 year, exciting stuff. Yes, I absolutely excited about that. I'm really excited for Star Wars in 2027. And like I said today, if you have a question for me that I'm going to put into the category of ForceCenter, the tough questions. This is something I've actually been playing with, of maybe do it as Patreon only. ForceCenter, 12 years on, going into our 13th year of broadcasting very soon here, which is crazy. You know our reputation to dig deep, to turn towards the light and find what is in the art for all of us to enjoy, or at least for us. But it doesn't mean over the years we haven't disliked things or haven't struggled with things or have kept some stuff closer to the vest. And I'm kind of 13 years in, 12 years, 13 seasons. Maybe I'll start answering some of those tougher questions. Maybe I'll answer those questions. Igor the Man says, okay, tough question. Phantom Otaku, one of my most dedicated listeners on my channel, Sports Card ASMR. I appreciate you over there. Says no one wants sticky Flaming Moe's all over it. No, you don't. One of the questions that I've been seeing pop up a lot, and this comes up all the time. In fact, we have done it now for 12 years, usually at the beginning of each year. The future of Star Wars, where we at right now. And I've been seeing a lot of, hey, you know, what are your thoughts on the immediate future of Star Wars? In fact, I even got a question about that over on my Instagram page. I'm probably not going to answer it there, but I'm going to take I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm spinning plates today. I'm not going to answer it here. I'm going to answer it here today. The future of Star Wars. The future of Star Wars is absolutely solid. It's not without its big questions. The live action, the streamers thing, man, that's been absolutely something that has just thrown a thorn in all of the industry. I keep complaining or bemoaning to y'all the state of the industry in Los Angeles where I am. Remember, it's not just studios, it's not just TV shows not going into production. It is the dry cleaners around the place. It is the catering places. It is the skilled labor workers. It is restaurants, family-owned restaurants, gone. All those kind of things affected by in the industry. So this town is listing. The business is listing. So that aside, in terms of Star Wars itself, I absolutely have a positive view of the future of Star Wars. Beginning, I even would include with Mandalorian Grogu, but also with Star Wars Starfighter. We got some video games that people are excited about. We got a big year in 2027 for the 50th year. I think it's okay, and it's maybe even times proper and correct to question what's going forward and to maybe look back at some of the things that haven't worked, not in terms of story, but in terms of business. I think it's not truthful to turn away from some of the director dramas and some of the cancellation drama around the Acolyte and other things, and to not question it, to not at least wonder what happened, or to at least not wonder, why. I think that'd be not right, not truthful. So I have those things too. And there's all those stories behind it. Who forced what director to be hired, and what director wouldn't move off this idea, what director was fired unfairly. All those kind of things keep coming up. But I just think a lot of times the folks that are more worried about the future of Star Wars, especially on the film side, or especially just overall with Dave and Lin-Manuel Miranda running it, I just quite frankly think they've missed a lot of what has been put out there by the art of Star Wars the last 10 years or so. There are obviously things you can point to as business decisions, but I find more often than not that the people that have, even some I love and respect, are like, I'm just worried about the future, don't actually understand all of the stories, don't actually understand or engage with all of the art that has actually been out. So they're missing some things. The Mandalorian Grogu as a film, did it succeed? It succeeded on a base level. It succeeded in that it made maybe some of its money back, and we're going to see, starting September 2nd, what we'll do on streaming. We'll see what we'll do on physical media, and we're going to see how that movie gets legs. I think it will get legs, not like the old days, but you can't deny that it wasn't the summer of Mandalorian Grogu. You have other films that did better. You have smaller budget films that did a lot better, without a doubt. And it was a pretty straightforward movie to me, but it also was this warm, heartfelt story of a father and a son. It had a lot of powerful things in it there, and I just think people missed it. And I just think people don't engage with that stuff, even some with the best intentions. And those seem to be the people who are like, I'm just really I'm really concerned about the future of Star Wars. I think they also think they don't think the big picture of the Acolyte cancellation, something I'll just say. I think there's a couple reasons that people think the show got canceled that doesn't account for all of it. And a lot of those are conspiracy theory reasons. These are also the same people that think that J.J. Abrams went into Reddit and made Rise of Skywalker to make good on the complaints of Last Jedi. That's bullshit. That's plain bullshit. That never happened. And if you hear anyone say that Rise of Skywalker was an apology for Last Jedi, you should cut them out of your feed. And those are the people that seem absolutely most concerned about the future of Star Wars. And that's some good people that I even know. So that's one of the tough questions I want to answer. Is the future perfect? No. Can we predict the future? Could we have predicted a couple years ago that streaming, the big thing that we all had to pivot to, is pretty much on its last legs, or a new kind of form or new kind of approach? No, we couldn't have predicted that there. Could we have predicted that we would have 3 more films announced in a big way in 2023, and 2 of them seem not likely to happen, and 1, maybe, hopefully, the Rey film will move forward, but in another form? Yeah, no, I don't think we could have, we would not have hoped for that. We would have hoped for better, and that's a reason to be concerned. But I also think there's big changes. I also think big changes at the top of Disney, and I'm not worried about the business side of it. Star Wars isn't going anywhere. 50 years and counting. What will remain is the great art. And I think time and time again, from 2014 on, once they started putting new stories out, starting with Star Wars Rebels and beyond, they have continued to put out powerful pieces of art that connect with the people that need it. That will continue to happen. I'm not worried about that at all. So let's get to some of the questions here that you might have for me as I wait for Jen to maybe show up. Igor the Mad says, I asked a tough question earlier. This just shows some support for ForceCenter. I appreciate that. Yes. Igor the Mad asked this question. How do you feel about George Lucas making most of his fortune exploiting the likenesses of rights of actors and merchandise? It feels very relevant now with AI. And Igor the Mad put a follow-up about the Carrie Fisher, the great Carrie Fisher quote. What I have it here today. I'm trying to do it all by myself today, folks. Sorry. Igor the Mad. There it is. Carrie Fisher made jokes about how I'd look in the mirror and owe George a few bucks. It's very funny with Carrie talking about George per Fred. But yes, I honestly don't have too much of a problem with it overall. And we'll separate the AI conversation and some of George's statements on it. I have a more nuanced take on AI than I think even a lot of people I work with, quite frankly. Sorry. I have used it in some capacity and will continue to do so. Not creatively, not generative based, but I think a lot of people just don't understand it as a format and what a lot of people are actually talking about. And that's not including a word, that's not factored in the environmental concerns, which are immense, the data center concerns, which are immense, the tech oligarch, which is concerned, not factoring that into that conversation or statement there. I just think a lot of people misunderstand what it actually could do because they don't engage with it. And in terms of George and him saying what he said about AI, not surprised. Whether or not he agrees with it or not, and I don't fully agree with everything that George said about it, George has always been more fascinated with tech than I think even the filmmaking process. That's always been a thing. As I've said before, I've never met George. I've met his son. I've kind of run in some circles that are George adjacent, and they said, yeah, he loves cars and tech. He's like a tech guy. Like talking Star Wars and films with him, not something he's interested in. If you know him, he's gonna want to talk about cars. He's gonna talk about tech. So I'm not surprised about that. In terms of him making the money from it, George, I think, has been very generous with his fortune. So I think I'll look at that to start with. But yeah, I think you sign on. I think I think the deals have gotten better over time. And I think Star Wars was one of the first things to kind of show itself as a big powerhouse when it comes to you're not just an actor in a film, but you're a lunchbox. That had happened before, but I don't think it happened until Star Wars, and I think we've learned a lot about it. I think it kind of is what it is. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what you got into. Carrie's jokes are great, but that's absolutely what it is. You are a brand. You are a business as an actor. When you come to that level, hopefully you get some good stuff out of that. And George had good people around him. George had a lot of help, but it was all driven by George. Even though he had great visionaries around him as well, and he's good creative partners for the most part. I think we could agree with that. it was still from his mind. And that's why we hope George remains to be as good as possible and that he doesn't go the way of other big creators, as I will say. Yeah, Igor agrees, says George's comments on AI make perfect sense. He's a tech head. Yeah, and again, it's a big conversation. It's a big problem these days. But I just say I was not surprised. Not surprised that George may be far removed from the dangers of AI that a lot of rest of us face. Yeah, it's also everywhere. I think a lot of people would be surprised at who uses AI in Hollywood. I would be surprised. I think you all would be surprised at how commonplace it is and how part of the process it is and how it's embraced. That's all I'll say. Any more questions? I probably missed them. So I'm doing this all by myself, so I'm going to scroll back up. Svetnik says, make it a Patreon exclusive ad, swear. Yeah, you know what's funny? Going back to our databank brawls, or the databank brawls that were rebroadcasting, Joseph and I swore a lot more in the earlier days. And at some point, we cleaned it up. We got Panka asking us, do you agree with the idea of less or no live-action TV shows for Star Wars, as has been rumored? I understand it. I don't fully agree with it. I have great frustration, Panka, that you would pivot in a big way. It's not just Disney, but you pivot in a big way to this. And I talked about it a little bit on shows recently here, and I made reference to WWE Network, which, as a wrestling fan, I think we're talking about with Steve on the call-in show Friday. You promised this new thing, this entire network of this world of content that I loved, and I could swim in it for a monthly price, and that is going to change, and it's going to maybe raise in price. That I can get behind, but now it's gone. It's on Peacock. It's part of something else, and it's something I moved on from a long time ago. But that was always disappointing. You promised this thing, and then you change that thing, and that's kind of the way it all is, right? We're on Patreon. We're going to still stay on Patreon. Patreon's going through a lot of changes right now behind the scenes, where they're trying to be something else that isn't Patreon. They're trying to turn it into a social media app. You can post quips now, which is a toothbrush, but also apparently a post on Patreon. A lot of things that I haven't fully understood yet. I do like to embrace new things, and I do like to follow things. I think it's smart to adapt. But Disney Plus, in terms of Star Wars, it's frustrating to me that you offered us this playland. We all bought into it for the most part. And I'm not even worried about, hey, movies went out of theaters and this happened. But that's one of the reasons we didn't get a lot of movies, or didn't get a movie between 2019 and 2026, is all of the resources, almost all of it, was put onto the side of live action television. And now it's gone, and I do miss it. I do miss not having anything beyond 2027. I hope we do. And I hope they can find, as the industry overcorrects both ways, I hope they can find a medium and find just a place where one a year, a special one-off, something like that. Hey, if you just joined us, it's me live today by myself. Jen Landa might still get here. I'm waiting to get a text, but we'll see. And if she does get here, we'll pay off the thumbnail. We'll pay off the title of getting her take on Star Wars Starfighter, and more on the Ahsoka 2 trailer. Anthony got a comment here. Every time I see ForceCenter talk about the decline of LA Hollywood, I feel sad, but I also think it's karma for the nonstop hate on Detroit. They also never declined to green tech change. You're right. That's going back to my old schmoes days too. I used to always go after Detroit too. So you know what, Anthony? Maybe you're right. Maybe karma came back and bit us because of the car industry, and we didn't care. Could be right. All right, catching up with comments here. If you got a tough question, put a big question in front of the post so I can scroll down and find it. Igor says, ForceCenter being clean is both really appreciated and at times feels like it holds back the conversation. It greatly depends on the topic. We made the... Look, I've been broadcasting, you probably can't tell today with me stumbling through this episode, but I've been broadcasting professionally since 1994, in earnest in 95, and was always on radio, always in under the rule of the FCC. And yeah, you don't get to just say anything you want. Whether or not I agree with that in full, that's the world I live in. So I'm always going to lean towards clean. I, though, in my own life, am not. And if you watch the blathering, I'm even holding back from what I would normally say. I love salty language. I think it is fun. I think it is not just entertaining. I think it is just vibrant. I think it's a great way to get a point across. I cuss a lot on stage as a stand-up. I think it's important to be clean in stand-up and have a clean 7 minutes to get on TV. I don't think you should just have every word said ever on network television. I think there should be some control of maybe what the youngsters hear. I'm fine with all that there. I don't agree with a far-right, conservative-leaning, Christian-centered government trying to control words. Basing it on some hollow sense of prim and proper decorum and morality. That's what George Carlin fought against. That's what people like Lenny Bruce fought against. Not the comics of the present day. That's what they fought. It wasn't the words. It was who was telling them that they can't say the words and the reasons why. All that to say, on ForceCenter, we've loosened the reins a little bit. But we still know we have an audience that might want to listen with some youngsters too. So there you go. That's kind of where we're at. You got any, these are great. Keep it going here. Igor says, as someone who swears like sailors, we need translations for R2. Yes. And R2 is a very, very dirty mouth robot. So is Chopper, but Chopper, we can kind of understand. Keep the tough questions coming here. I'll be here for a little bit longer. Neil, Hansock said, I have a feeling Star Wars Celebration might just announce more than we think or expect. I hope so. I really hope so. And I think some clarity, it would benefit all these studios to have some clarity for all of us to interact with. I think the thing that has always kind of been a little bit of a problem with Lucasfilm over the last years is compared to the well-oiled machine that Marvel was or appeared to be. Lucasfilm always appeared to be behind the eight ball, behind the scoops, couldn't get out in front of stories, announced things that, fell apart for not reasons that weren't their fault, but, I think when you're pressured to put something out there, when you're pressured to go in front of an investor day and say, this is what we got, and we've got to appeal to those shareholders, I think that's going to make a lot of unforced errors. I don't have all the inside scoops. I don't have all the things. I mentioned this before, but the Rangers of the New Republic at the time was something that I was told was completely underdeveloped, was a logo and a graphic, but they had to get it out. So it becomes a show that was canceled. It becomes one of the projects that didn't happen, which is true because they announced it, but it didn't happen. But it was one of those things of like, hey, we need something. We need something. Can you give us something? And it was an inkling of an idea that maybe didn't have a lot behind it. That's one thing I heard. I cannot 100% say it's a fact. I cannot 100% say it's not. That's some of the scuttlebutt I heard. The Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron stuff, they went all out for it. I don't think they could anticipate that maybe her writing skills weren't to a level in which they like. Maybe her ability to see that her writing skills weren't as to the level that she thought. I think they couldn't foresee that kind of stuff, and they couldn't foresee everything that kind of came about. Again, just talking about scuttlebutt in the town, and that's something I don't put at the feet of Lucasfilm. That's just what happens in this city, right? They didn't announce, thank God, they didn't announce at the time the hunt for Ben Solo at Star Wars Celebration 2022, and then it not happen. But when you're forced to announce things, man, I think that's kind of part of the problem. To my knowledge, Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron is not alive and has not been alive for a while. But hey. Maybe one day. You never know. Maybe Brad Pitt will want to be in a Star Wars film. Anthony with a super chat, just in case Jen gets a speeding ticket. I don't think Jen's going to get a speeding ticket. Was a red really question? Yes, 100%. I know people who work with her. She is not a great writer and does not think that. So it's a problem. I know a lot of people in the comic book industry who have had to work with her, and it's not good. Producer Steve here. We'll be live on the Blathering tonight. Zeb or Chewy, who makes a better left tackle? Okay, Zeb or Chewy, who makes a football season is almost upon us. Okay, so I'm tackle, guard, center. Tackles are all a little taller. Offensive linemen in the NFL or football. I don't count college football as real sports. You get tackles a little taller, guard, and the center is a squat ball, right? The nose tackle and the center, they're squat balls. I think Chewy's my tackle. Zeb's my guard. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Chewy at center. Volkaner is the Chewy at center. He can't be a center. He's too tall. Centers are little squat. BB-8 would probably be a better center. All right, maybe not BB-8. A gong droid would be a better center. As Vedka says, I've actually seen Zeb tackle someone, but a tackle doesn't tackle. A left tackle blocks, right? So a defensive tackle, if you want to put him on the defensive line, Chewy's an edge rusher. I think Zeb's a old classic defensive end. I think you're right about that. Producer Steve, if one is your tackle and the other's the D end trying to get around them. Yeah, Chewy's my tackle. And then I'll put Zeb as a defensive end. And let's take him to the football field. All right. I'm scrolling up here. If you guys got a tough question or a question you want to know, now is the time. I'm scrolling up to Ethan's. Where's your question, Ethan? You might just have to. Okay. Here's a hard question. Okay. Ethan says, here's a hard question I ask in the most good faith way I possibly can. At what point are we just doing mental gymnastics and making the sequel films mesh into one story? He says, part two of the question, particularly 8 and 9, they feel very attached to me. They're detached in a way because there was a switch in directors, obviously, and the timeline wasn't really adjusted for the film. Trevorrow, I think, struggled with the death of Luke. It is something he, I heard, campaigned against on the inside and didn't want to happen. And so there was that. There was also the stuff that he missed at the end of the film. I don't think it takes a lot for Joseph and I to see what's actually there. I've said this from the day Rise of Skywalker came out to now. Chris Terrio understood Star Wars better than almost anyone, I think, involved. This is a guy who understood what he was writing and what he was writing to. I just think there was a lot of things that moved fast in the production, a lot of things that they felt they did want to get back to. I absolutely do think there was a little bit of JJ going, all right, but let's take this and kind of connect it to some of the stuff maybe I'd go on. I do think that's present, but I think a lot of the takes, I'm not saying this is Ethan, but a lot of the takes on negative on 9 are people that didn't understand 8. I will go to that all the time, and I will be a little aggressive with it. I think a lot of the folks misunderstand. There's a lot of people I know and work with who I love dearly, do not understand what 8 is actually about. And do not understand just the fact that Rey is from nowhere, but that does not mean she was not special. And so if you look at 9 and go, see, they turned her to something else. No, they only built upon what was there. The lightsaber called for her. She was chosen. She was something special in Episode 7. The idea that her search for identity was tied to her parents, and that ended up being, hey, you don't need, you are the story. You are enough. You can be from nowhere and be part of the story, is present in 8. It's absolutely present in 8, but that's not where it ends up. And that's not where it began with Rey. And I think you take, like, what is her then fear? What is her then fear? She discovers, like, all right, I have enough. I am enough. I have all the pieces. What does that mean? And what does this great power mean? And then I have this natural power to destroy, and it comes from a source that I'm afraid of, and now I'm afraid of whom I might actually be. And she learns who she's beyond that. I think thematically it does connect. I think the dots are there. I don't think they just threw things against the wall. They knew what they were trying to accomplish, and even if they made a left turn, and I do think they made some left turns, it was built on what came before. It was built on where do you go from here. It didn't ignore 8. It built upon it, even though maybe sometimes it went back to 7. It's always good when I get 100% from David McKay. I do have a text update. Jen might be here. Brady asked a great question. How do you distinguish bad writing from intentional pulpiness? It's a great question. I don't agree with the phrase bad writing 90% of the time. I think it is when you see it. I think there's sometimes the directing is what infuriates me a little bit more. I think some great directors involved in Ahsoka season 1. I think they were maybe pushed into a house style that was just kind of I don't know, wasn't my favorite directing style. People's definitions of bad writing, I think, are very personal. Again, I think sometimes people miss what's actually there. I think it's, how did that character get from point A to point B? Oh, bad writing. And how do they do it so fast? Bad writing. It's not bad writing. But I think when scenes waste time, when scenes repeat information, when the dialogue is really, really clunky, but not in a, look, the prequel dialogue's still clunky. I can slice it any way you want about how it was supposed to be from George. It's still really clunky. And I think some of Dave's live action dialogue is really clunky. And that's something I'll stand by. But it doesn't mean you can't find the meaning behind it. So, Brady, I don't know. I just think bad writing has become this. I didn't understand what I just saw, therefore it's bad writing. Ethan, hard question. Do you think there's any comeback from the cinema sinification of film discourse? Yeah, no, no, I don't. And I know, and I put it. I met those guys 2 years ago. Jeremy and Chris. Jeremy's the main guy. Chris, I believe his name was the writer. Chris, I didn't have any problems with either of them, by the way. Both nice enough. I think Jeremy came off as a little guarded and shy. That's normal for a lot of YouTubers. Chris was very happy. He was on Schmoes, and it was a good evening. It was a good experience. I really hold to the fact that Cinema Sin's intention was fun, that their intention was comedy. I really think that's the case. But what started to happen is they grew. A lot of people might say they took themselves too seriously. I don't even know if that's the case. I don't know them. I wasn't in the writing sessions later on. I just think they experienced what a lot of big channels at that time felt, which is you now started gaining prestige, respect, and power, and you also started gaining more money. And it wasn't just that they needed to, that they felt they had 25 minutes of ideas. They just realized that a 4-minute video versus a 20-minute video is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And you could have, you could have a 5-minute video do 1 million views. And you're going to be like, that's good. You could have a 20-minute video do 1 million views, and your mouth's going to drop. And I think that's what started happening with a lot of those channels. And YouTube was forcing people to go because YouTube's making, if you're making more money, YouTube's making even more. So I think CinemaSids, that's why it felt like they were getting a little bit more important. Their attitude might have changed. I stopped watching at one point. There was a big fallout with them and a company I work for in 2016. I just kind of unsubscribed and kind of didn't follow them. So they may have gotten more self-important. I don't doubt that. I don't put it all at their feet. Just like I don't put it on the feet. I love producing movie fights. I love being on movie fights, but it was supposed to be fun. And a lot of the audience took it serious. And that became film criticism to a lot of people. If you can win a point in an argument, you're the one who's right. And I wouldn't put it at our feet either. Not even putting it on the fans' feet. It just happened naturally. Just happened naturally. And I think Molly Damon's right. And we got a special guest coming in very shortly. I've been spinning plates long enough. Molly says maybe they didn't realize the damage the content could possibly cause. Their stuff came right around when the ability of people online to no longer recognize parody versus reality. There's absolutely some truth to that. I mean, a lot of truth to that. I would never say Molly's wrong. No. Yeah, yeah. That's absolutely part of what happened. Um, it's not even, yeah. It's just something I think I've been fighting against for a long time. Long time. Of there's no actual engagement with the art. This is art. And I love sports. I'm a big sports fan. But when you turned everything into sports talk, it skipped over the reason we enjoy these things. And that's still a problem. All right, you guys have been doing great with these questions, but I've been flailing too long here on this show here tonight. So let's go ahead and do this. She's here. She's back. It's Ken and Jen of the afternoon. Jen Landa, how are you?
I am so sorry to keep you. We're live on the air. Keep going. Keep going.
Stretch. Jen Landa's here for some Star Wars news. How are you? Take a breath.
I'm hanging in there. I didn't get my ring light on. I put on this background, even though you can kind of see, like I have my thing up, but it's like not all the way.
Your Star Wars bed sheets are popping through the clouds like they're on monsters.
Let me see what it looks like without it. Oh well.
No, you're good. It's totally funny. I like seeing
what happens. That's okay. That's fine. That's all right. Okay,
I like seeing C-3PO's abdomen shining through the Coruscant clouds.
It's just sad. Oh, hanging on by a thread or a bed sheet.
Oh. Jen, while you're gone, I was like, I want some tough questions. I'm in a salty mood. So great audience questions, and I may have dropped a curse word or two. So happy to have you here to get right to it. How have you been? How's your Star Wars life? How's your life?
Oh, it's going. It's mainly school life with kids, school life with my school life. Not a lot of Star Wars, unfortunately. Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah. But you're designing some great Star Wars merch.
I'm trying. I'm not a graphic designer, but I'm really, really trying. I've been enlisting my daughter, who's a fantastic artist. So she's been kind of helping me.
Nice.
Eventually I'll hire someone because it's a lot of work. So
what to you makes a good piece of fun Star Wars merch? Because what I like about your stuff so far that we've seen is it's like, for instance, the Ooey Booey. If you know, you know. It's one of those Star Wars kind of insider things, but also known enough by the public, but it's secret enough. You know what I mean? There's a balance you're striking there.
Yeah, I'm trying to. But then I made some merch and I was like, oh, this is really, it's like just says Night Sister. Because I'm like, I want to just show that I'm a Night Sister wannabe. But yeah, I try to keep things a little bit subtle. Although again, I contradict myself because I have another shirt that I've been working on that says Jedi Temple on it, Coruscant. And I've gotten some compliments with my samples. So that one's just kind of like on the nose. I mean, unless you are like Coruscant, where's that? Or rather, Coruscant, where is that? Coruscant?
Coruscant, sir. Yeah.
Oh. Is that a Disneyland? Where is that?
What is that? Oh, that's great. That's good. Well, I'll proudly wear an Ooey Booey hat.
Yes, I know. I need to get your address. I'm overdue. I was curious when I came in. There was a heated discussion.
I don't know. I've been trying to keep up with the chat, but also pulling in questions for the show, so I've missed everything. Yep. Everyone, hold hands. Kumbaya. Get along. So, all right. So, in the time we have left here, Jen, I know you got things going on here. Two questions for you. Did you have time to watch the Ahsoka season 2 teaser trailer? Where are you at with that?
So yesterday you sent me that email, and I'm like, I'm on it, boss, and then I'm not on it. Like I literally was trying right now to watch it right before, like as I'm setting up. And I was like, well, maybe I just do a live react, but then that's not fun for you guys because you guys can't see it. So that's not that exciting. What did you all think of the Ahsoka trailer? That's a better question.
Well, we could. Last week I brought in the video. I did almost a kind of a not a reaction, but like a, let's stop it. And then the video got demonetized. So,
no, yeah. Wow. Ooh, they're on it. They're on it. So we won't do that unless we won't do that.
So just in a month where we need all the cash, YouTube was like, we'll take that. Anyways. I don't know. Joseph hasn't had a chance to discuss it in full. He's been on the road. He's on vacation. So I've got to mention he liked it. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks bigger and bolder. And I think I think it sets the stage for a pretty epic confrontation between Thrawn and what he calls the Rebel Alliance in this trailer. Oh, Jen, you're gonna love it. No, and I have, I came out of season 1 very, 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 very dubious about the future of this series, and had a lot to do with some stuff that just was on screen that I just thought was subpar. But I love these characters, and I love Dave and team getting to build on these characters, and I want more of Anakin. I want more of young Ahsoka. I'm hoping for Kenobi. I last week was saying I want a Clone Wars movie. I want a live action Clone Wars movie now.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So anyways, I have my biggest hope, Jen, and you haven't seen the trailer, but like it sets up this epic battle that kind of has been teased of Thrawn versus the Rebel Alliance. And I just don't know what the future of streaming, where it's at, and a full slate of films in development that don't involve this one, and I don't think involve the quote-unquote Filoni movie. I hope this series gets a chance to end its story on its own merits, if it's not going to go on. And that's my only fear.
Do you think that, because you don't think that there's a season 3, or there's clearly not going to be a season 3? Have they said that?
They haven't said. They call it season 2,
right?
In the trailer. So and it's not as simple as and no one in our audience has said this, but it's not like Dave can greenlight his own projects. He has a board. He has Lin-Manuel Brennan working. Like, he's not just like, it's not just like he's running his own YouTube channel. He has to answer to folks, so he can't just greenlight it. But also, again, if Josh D'Amaro and all the Disney board and people are like, yeah, we're not letting you go forward with a lot of live action shows anymore, or you can't afford to, then he can't. And that's my only fear. 5 years later, could we get season 3? We're almost 4 years later from season 1, which is crazy to think.
Oh, that's wow. Yeah. And it's interesting because I heard some rumblings about Marvel really not having much beyond Vision Quest. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does kind of seem like they're scaling back a little bit on the TV side, maybe to make, bigger movies. I don't know. But just like scrubbing through this trailer, which I literally am right now, it looks really good. And I too was dubious. But I thought that, Hayden was fantastic. I thought young Ahsoka was great. I loved the tease of the father and the daughter and whatnot. And whatnot, kids.
Hey, whatnot.
And whatnot. But it looks really good. I don't know why I kind of avoided it. There was an instinctive part of me that was like, spoilers, but it's coming. When is it coming?
2027, early January, I think 2027.
Oh, in January.
Right? Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? Someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Makai, I'm looking at you. Yeah. Did you see? Did you scrub enough to see the Night Sisters?
Okay, so I saw a still of somebody from that, and I was like, okay, now we're cooking. I don't see it here, but I liked their costume better because it looked more like the Clone Wars. Am I correct?
Yeah, and they're in action. I imagine those are the ones who are in the sarcophagi being transported off planet. I'm excited about that. And I know as your T-shirt you've designed says, you want to be a Night Sister, so to see them in action would be great.
I do. And one of my gripes last season was the costume. It didn't really work for me in the way. I just love the Clone Wars. I love the design. And I loved kind of how menacing they were. They seemed a little bit more, not as threatening for me personally in Ahsoka. I don't know what it was.
The Great Mothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I think it was a cool start. I think I want to see a bigger, bolder Night Sister coven. That's what I want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They seem judgmental, but I would not necessarily be afraid of them. You know what I mean? I could take you.
Like they're not witches, they're a group of Heathers. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Molly Damon, who I am going to drink with, along with Alex, Jill, and Sully, and a lot of others soon at Dragon Con. Excited to see Thrawn actually do something. Yeah. I'm excited that I have as you know, I have a complicated relationship with Thrawn. I don't know how. He was my favorite in the early 90s. I've said here on this channel I wanted Jack Nicholson to play them. I no doubt they were going to make movies out of these things in the 90s. I love Thrawn. I used to quote some of the stuff. in those books. I don't think they stand up. I don't think Zahn is a great Star Wars writer, and I've not enjoyed them for about 30 plus years. But I did love the character, and I loved him showing back up in Rebels, and I love how they used him in Rebels. The other books I didn't eat. I read 3 of the modern Thrawn books, and that was enough. That was enough for me. But I love the Rebels Thrawn, and I think it wasn't a false start with season 1. I just think it was a little the whole presentation of him was a little stiff. But I'm excited with a new wig, new makeup, and new look. I want to get Thrawn from Rebels here in Ahsoka.
Yes, Dennis, this is what I'm talking about. We finally see a Night Sister Rising, a Rancor in live action. I just want them more to do. Quite frankly, I just want them to have their own show. That would be my dream. But if they're scaling back, they're certainly not going to make Night Sisters show.
Happy, no, they're not. But they're not.
Listen,
they're not.
Practical Magic 2 is back. Why can't they? Why can't they? I say.
Yeah. Okay. Witchery is it's very popular with the kids these days.
Is it? Yeah, actually, there is like a dark academy show that's going to be coming out. It looks really good. It's on Disney Plus.
Right. I don't know, but Jed, you and I were raised in an era where, Night Sisters. What are we dancing with Satan? We can't do that.
Oh my gosh. No, Halloween. This is why I love Halloween so much now, is because I was so deprived. I would lay in my bed at night being like, oh, what evil is lurking outside my window? People are setting fires across the city.
Yes.
It's like literally what I was taught.
That's why I still don't play D&D much,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
I've told the story. I played it one time officially. I play it currently. We have a little segment on my show, The Blathering, that's just kind of silly, and it's great. And Jared's leading us through a fun story. But like I played it one time in my life. Matt Mercer was the DM. Granny Mahara was my dwarf partner. Matt Key, everyone, the whole crew, Marisha, everyone. Played it once. A lot of fun. But we're going to hell. This is of the devil. Like, what are you all doing here?
No,
satanic.
I've always wanted to play D&D. I never have, but I've always been like a lurker, and
What would your character be, Jen?
I don't know. I actually was a part, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I was a part of a research project this past semester that involved D&D. And I want to continue the project because it was really fascinating, and I think I could really take it further.
I want to know so much about this.
It was so fascinating, and it's exactly what I thought. I can't get into it, I don't think. I think I signed a disclosure. But my point is that like I always wanted to do it, and I kind of had that same thing where it was like, oh, this is like anything with like warlocks or whatever. I don't know, wizards, like of the devil.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't think D&D's demonic. If anyone's just checking in, it's just how I was raised, and so it stays with you when it's drilled into you. Jared's here. Save Franny. #Save Franny. In our D&D game on my show, me and producer Steve need to save Franny at a convention that she was stolen. So it's a great start. In real life, she's fine. Real life, though, she's not with me right now. She's in another state for a little bit. So
okay.
I am my first full day without Franny. I may have woken up with some tears. Sad day. But what? Okay, Jared, since you're in chat, what kind of character would we build for Jed? Would it be some sort of mage, like you said, some sort of witchy kind of thing, or some sort of elf? You got
elves.
Elf.
Yes, an elven thief or rogue. Okay. Yes. I'm not one for like combat, but I could steal. I could be roguish. What does that involve?
But you'd be a no.
You haven't seen the Sigma face?
No.
That's what the kids are doing.
I don't. Yeah, I'm still stuck on 6-7 from last year.
Oh, 6-7.
Did we move past that?
Done.
We moved past that. It's done. Oh God, what is it? 7-9. Well, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? JMB says Jed will procure items for your coven for a price.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a price. That's right. Now we're talking. Oh, I could play an investigator. Yes, Igor. I Are there investigators? Oh, it's the wrong one.
Yeah,
Are there
yeah.
investigators in D&D?
I'm sure if you want to investigate things.
Okay.
Jared
Okay.
says wizard because they go to school to learn magic and carry a spell book. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
There we go. We did everybody.
Okay. I know, and I've been meaning to watch. I've only seen a little bit of Hyper Dice. Molly and Alex's is it Hyper
Dice? Yeah.
Their new show, which looks so fun.
It looks great. I have to admit something though. I've watched the episodes and I spend the entire episode spying on the rest of their house.
Oh.
That's all I do.
What do you mean?
Because it's like in their like liver, and I'm just like, what is it? What do they got in that?
You freeze frame it and zoom in. Enhance.
Do they got an espresso? What is that? What is that thing over there?
They have an espresso?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But Hybridice is great. You all should check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Maybe we'll jump in for a one shot one time. But I just keep going. Wait. And because, you see Alex and Molly's house so much in their sets, they shoot here, they shoot there. I'm trying to put it together, which is the couch that they do the reactions on. Who's upstairs? Who's downstairs? I get lost in that.
There's an upstairs and a downstairs?
Where does Myrtle the turtle eat? Like, where does Molly feed Myrtle the turtle? Like, where's all this stuff
turtle? Oh, I know. I do. I love looking. That's why I love Rear Window. The Alfred Hitchcock movie, because don't tempt me with a good time looking at apartments that are lit up, because I'm gonna look. I just want to see what's going on. Maybe there's a murder. We don't know.
Yeah. I have a stand-up joke I've done for years of like, if I walk past your house at night, I am staring inside your house. I want to see everything inside. I want to see where you put your pictures, your piano, your bookshelf. What are you doing? Like And Molly's right. See, she says, this is why I want to film the studio, because of creeps like me. That's absolutely right. It's absolutely right.
I know.
I know. Absolutely right.
Creeps like us. Oh, boy.
All right. So I got a tough question for you, Jen, here. I'm going to bring up our thumbnail. All right. So I forgot to do this. I was going to send you something before the show, but things have been. All right. So you have been, this is an episode of Tough Questions and Admissions. You have been publicly wary. I love, my word of the day is dubious. But you've been wary of Star Wars Starfighter, right? You've not been sure of the Gosling.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. At D23, walks out, comes out in this jacket.
Yep.
We know a little bit Kate Oberon. We know a little bit what's going on in the story. And I broke my own rule, and I did look at some of the pirated footage of the teaser, and I was going to send it to you because I saw it.
I am so curious.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I saw it, and
send
I went,
it to me.
This looks really good. This looks really good. So, Jen,
Yep.
First of all, you as a maker of merch, what do you think about this symbol and jacket?
I got thoughts. Let me tell you, I may not have watched the Ahsoka trailer, but this I dissected. I actually made a video, and I recorded it on Friday, and I'm like, nobody wants to hear this. And I sat on it.
We want to hear it. I'm
going to share it. I'm going to share it today, but I'm going to share other thoughts here. And what I have to say is all I needed to get hyped for Starfighter was seeing that jacket. I was like, it's on. Because of that symbol. And the way that it's hand painted and distressed, it gives me everything I need to know about the movie. I don't have to see anything. I'm buying midnight showing, because you're taking the classic Starbird symbol, right? And you're flipping it, and you're turning it with blasters into skull and crossbones. That's gutsy. That's a gutsy move. It says so much about this character. I want to believe that Cade would actually paint that on his jacket because he's that kind of guy. I just think it was so smart. And I don't know if it was his stylist or who that arranged it. I know Sean Levy gave it to him on stage, but I have a feeling this is a stylist move.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
This is fantastic. This is what we wanted to hear, Jen. The moment I saw that jacket, the symbol is one thing because it's in the trailer and the jacket, but then when he comes out, I'm like, this is Jen Landa's jam. And Molly's right. It's a Gosling's contract to get a cool jacket every time he films. I think so. What's the film say? What's the Drive?
Blade Runner. Drive.
Drive.
Baby, not Baby Driver. No, it was Drive. It was Drive.
Baby Driver Drive, Baby Reindeer. I don't know.
Baby Driver was the Ansel
It's-
egg whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Egghort.
I think Jack. I can't remember a specific jacket, but I mean, he's got all the cool clothes in Barbie.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. He's got like a vest.
But I saw that jacket. I was like, this is Jen Landa's jam, and I wanted to get you on board fully for Gosling and Star Wars, and I think this is it. And I think when I send you that footage I may have acquired through other folks, I didn't do it. Jesus, I didn't do it. I didn't sin. I just watched the sin in front of me. I think you're going to be like, okay, I'm more excited than I was before.
It's cheeky. The symbol and version is cheeky, right? They're taking something that's familiar to all of us and they're being like, what if we do this, right?
Yeah.
It's not like an FU. It's not like in your face, like I'm taking everything you know and love and we're throwing it out, which is how people felt with certain other Star Wars movies and shows, right? This is, I don't want to say a wink and a nod, but if you know, right? You see the normie, my mom is going to see that symbol and be like, is that a skull and crossbones? What is that? Right. But we get it. And I love that. It cool. Says so much. It's such a smart marketing move. And I'm excited.
Good.
I'm excited. Yeah,
that's
genuinely.
Getting really excited. I love that. Yeah. No, that's great. And then Sean Levy had those comments last week, kind of the State of the Galaxy post episode 9. We don't know exactly how far ahead of episode 9 it is, but that there's no central government, no new republic, that it's a little bit of wild times. This is a story of maybe class privilege, those kind of things, class warfare, those kind of stuff. This is a wrong side of the trackers kind of guy. I think it's intriguing, even though it's supposed to be a one-off and everything like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I liked that the leather jacket he mentioned, the director mentioned about, he was inspired by Francis Ford Coppola's 1983, The Outsiders movie. And the jacket being kind of like a varsity leather jacket kind of ties with that. And when he said Outsiders, I loved that TV show. Did you ever see the TV show? And
No.
I liked the movie, but the TV show was one of my favorites. Growing up. Oh, it was so good.
I mean, I just finished Lasso 5-6 years after everyone started it. So
yeah, this was like in the 90s or
I'll
like
get there
late
eventually.
80s. Yeah. And I loved it. So when he said that inspired this film, I was like, all right, I'm on board. All right, Sean, you won me over because I really was skeptical. I was. Yeah.
You were, understandably. A lot of people were. Chris Ryan's from Braxton saying, from what Levy said, the way the galaxy will be post-Rise of Skywalker, with him saying, Starfighter will have an outsider's influence. I'm hyped for a Greasers versus Soaks filter.
Yes.
Soaks? Okay, so there you go.
So maybe I should go watch. That's it.
Maybe I should go watch The Outsiders.
Stay gold, Pony Boy. Oh, man. I loved that. I had all the pictures of the guys.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we have to start wrapping up. Jen's got some stuff to do. I got to go stand in a dogless yard.
No. What about the squirrels? Aren't the squirrels there?
Jen, I got a better question for you. Jen, do you want to adopt a kitten?
Wait, what?
Do you want a tree kitten?
A tree kitten?
You want to come trap a tree kitten that lives in my yard now?
My daughter really wants a kitten, and that's. Well, I mean, is it a kitten? Is it like?
Oh, it's a kitten. Oh. It's a, it's not yet a teenager. Oh. It's a tiny little kitten. Yeah.
Where is it coming from? Is it like a neighborhood kind of cat?
Oh, it's a feral cat. The mom has decided to raise its kids in my yard, but has apparently ditched out.
No.
Maybe to go acquire some more kids. But yeah, I have a little house for it. I have food for it. And
my gosh,
I am Radagast the Brown. I cannot turn my back on an animal in need. And there you go. But
that's a great quality. Aww. Well, you should at least name the kitten.
Okay, but if I do that, I don't. Jen, then we're hooked.
I know.
Then we're in.
I know. I've named our neighborhood cats. I have Tiny. I have Kiki. I have Zelda.
So, there you go. So we're almost out of here, Jen. I know your schedule is up in the air, so we'll try to get you back on as soon as we can. But yeah, and share your stuff. Brady said it. We want whatever you wanted to post online about that jacket. You better post online.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna do it. Thank you all. Because I was like, nobody cares about what I have to say, and I'm like, I'm just gonna say it. All right. I'll talk about Ryan's jacket. So they'll be on my Instagram later today, hopefully at Jennifer Landa, and there you can find my merch shop. I literally have a bunch of videos that I've shot that I have not edited. I have one on like the mid-Atlantic accent, which I think is so fascinating.
Lovely. Let's hear it, Jen.
Exactly. And kind of how that came to be and why it's so popular in like older movies and stuff. Been sitting on that one. I have a Jabba one where I was messing around with the frequency and turned my voice into Jabba. So I've got a lot in the queue. I just gotta edit it. So yeah.
There you go. Get to it. Get to it. You know, like you have all the time in the world.
I know. I have a week off. I have a week off between my next semester.
Oh, now you have no excuse. There you go.
I know. Thank you for having me, though.
Thanks for joining us here today. We did it. We got through hanging out. Jen and Ken in the afternoon. Don't forget to support on Patreon. We really could use your support over there. Patreon.com/ForceCenter. I'm not even going to play nice about it. We could really use support over on Patreon. That's it. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.